Welcome! My name is Colleen Tauke and I'm a sewing specialist here at Fons & Porter. In this Quilting Quickly tutorial, I'm going to show you how to put together the blocks and to size them for the quilt called Line Dance. If you'd like to purchase this pattern, please visit our website. We're going to be using 2.5-inch pre-cut strips, a wonderful collection. This is one of my favorites. The pinks, the reds, the greens, and that turquoise just sets off that navy blue perfectly. We're going to be using a real light dotted fabric as a background so the blocks do dance across the quilt. And then you're going to follow your instructions for the number of squares to cut from each of the strips. So you're going to go in and you're going to cut 2.5-inch strips. There's very little waste in this pattern, so it's a very efficient way to use your pre-cut strips. And then you're going to match up 2 fabrics and create 9 patches. So I've got one here. And you can do as strong a contrast or as low contrast as you want for your 9 patch blocks. You can see in the quilt behind me, most of them are a fairly strong contrast. But go ahead and make those 9 patch blocks. And then we're going to surround them with rectangular shaped bars of the background fabric. And you'll join those opposite sides first, making sure to press in between, then come back and add the top and the bottom. Now once you have all your blocks like this created, it's time for cutting and trimming. Because these are tilted blocks, we're going to be dividing the blocks into 2 groups. Half are going to tilt one direction, half are going to tilt another. And I'm going to walk you through that cutting process, because once you get done making all your blocks, at first it seems like, how did they do that? So I've got one marked. This is what we're going to try to get to, is a tilted block like this. And what we do is, and I've put in temporary lines. These are using a disappearing ink so that if I were to mark them in the wrong place, hit them with heat from an iron and the lines would disappear. But they will be in the seam allowance in the very end. But what I'm going to do is align a ruler with the edge of my 9-patch block. Now you may have read the directions and thought, exactly where are they placing the ruler? There is a diagram in the pattern also, but the ruler edge needs to be aligned with that seam of the border joining the 9-patch. And what you're going to do is make a mark right here along this border. And then you're going to make cut a line from that point to this seam intersection. There's the 2 blocks, background pieces are joined there, come together, so you're going to come in here and you're going to trim away that edge and create that tilt of the block. So we've got one there. Now the other place that you need to mark, I'm going to just rotate this, is on this side of the block. We were on this side, now we're going to the opposite side of the 9-patch. Again, we're going to extend with a ruler so we know where to make a notch here on the outer edge. And we're going to do the same exact cut from that notch to the intersection of this seam. Now the first time you do these, you're thinking, okay, what am I doing? Now when you get done at this point, you'll see you have parallel sides cut. Now, because of the way that outer border came together, there's already a seam there. You don't need to mark that. So you've got a spot to start here, and you're going to come to this corner where where your diagonal cut met the outside edge of your block. So you're going to trim this, and you're going to rotate. Or if you've got a second mat you can lay on top, you can rotate that around. Sometimes big mats are harder to rotate. Again, this is where the outer border intersects that seam. You're going to trim from there to the outside edge here. And that will create a square block like this. Now, you're going to be dividing and you're going to create half the blocks with the tilt to the left, half the blocks with the tilt to the right. Just follow your instructions. It'll tell you exactly how to line up again for the tilt going the opposite direction. But remembering using that inside line, lining your ruler there, finding a spot to start and stop. So you're going to have blocks that tilt back and forth in your quilt called Line Dance. If you'd like to see more of our Quilting Quickly tutorials, please visit our website. Thanks for joining me.